Hello everybody, it's John Alexandrov, and an interesting question has come up in some of the speaking engagements I've done recently. I cover this in our one-on-one coaching sessions with my clients, but I wanted to make sure I got a video out on this. And people ask me all the time, John, how do I say no? You know, I don't want to upset people, I don't want to make them feel like I'm putting them off, but there are times when I just have to say no to appointments, or say no to meetings, or say no to phone calls. How do I do that graciously, or how do I do that in a professional way? Now, I learned a technique, several years ago that works wonderfully for me, and it doesn't upset anybody, and it actually helps people show how professional you are and how professional you can be. Before I give you the technique, let's talk a little bit about when you should be saying no. You should be saying no virtually 100% of the time if somebody wants your time, they want your attention, they want to have a meeting with you, they want to have a phone call with you, if it's not going to support the development of your goals, right? Anything outside of that is probably going to be a waste of your time. Now, of course, there's time that you're going to allocate graciously just to mentor and help other people, because that's probably the way that you're built and that's what you were taught. And there's going to be some time that you're going to give away graciously with authenticity or generosity to charities or people in need. That's all wonderful. I'm talking about the core day-to-day decisions that you're making with where your time's going. First of all, take a look at your calendar and make sure that your time is properly allocated towards what your goals are and the action steps are to accomplish them. Then when somebody says to you, hey John, could I have a meeting with you on Wednesday at 2 o'clock? Well, I typically will look at my calendar, and if there's something scheduled in my calendar, I'd say, something, Steve or Mary, I'd love to do a call with you Wednesday at 2 o'clock. However, my time is already committed. Now, that time could already be committed to something personal. Could be I'm working out at that time. Could be I'm with my grandchildren at that time. It could be that I have just time scheduled off for me time during that time, or I could actually be doing something that's business related. It doesn't really matter because it's a commitment I've already made. I call it sacred time that's in my calendar, and I'm not going to rearrange the time with my children or grandchildren for a call, okay? So it allows me to be in control all the time of my schedule. So I would say, I'd love to do a call with you Wednesday at 2 o'clock. However, my time is already committed. And then I'll look at my calendar and I'll say, I have Thursday at 4 or Monday at 2 available. What works better for you? And then they'll typically choose one of those time slots. Now again, that's only if I really want to do the call, or if I really want to have the meeting, or if I really want to allocate the time. So, however, that does a couple other things. It keeps me in control of my calendar, and subconsciously it shows other people that I'm not always available. And I shouldn't always be available, because I have a business to run, I have family, I have hobbies, I have social time with friends, I have all of those things, so I'm not always going to be available. So it's a great technique, remember that? I'd love to have that meeting with you, I'd love to do that conversation with you, I'd love to have that phone call with you. However, my time is already committed. However, I have Thursday available at 4 or Monday at 2. What works better for you? Practice that technique and you will see that you will not only be in command and control of your time, but you also will always have enough time to do all the other things that you say that you want to be, do, and have in life.